everyone, it's Sally with the Polka Dot Life. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you are a first-time viewer, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. And if you are a returning viewer, I hope that you will hit that red subscribe button down below. That really helps my channel to grow and find more crafters to come into our family. Today we are working with the Daffodil Daydream Bundle. We are going to be using both the stamps and the die. If you haven't made any Easter cards yet, but you'd like to, this card takes a minimal amount of supplies and it goes very quickly. You could take care of making several of these in an afternoon. I also want to remind you that there are several things on sale currently at Stampin' Up. One of them is the mini cut and emboss machine. And there are several bundles that are on sale as well. Hop on over to thepolkadotlife.com to check those out. Let's flip the camera down and get started on making these beautiful flowers of springtime. In the January to June mini catalog on page 37, you will find the Daffodil Daydream Bundle. And it is a very expensive bundle. I'm not going to lie to you, but this is a die set and stamp set that I would tell you to hold on to. I know some people get rid of retired things, and sometimes I do too, but I think that this is a classic. There is nothing about a daffodil that is going to go out of style ever. And this is just very classic lines, very classic shapes. And so you will see, and I'm going to show you here versus on the case just because it glares, but you have two large images in the stamp set. And then you have a butterfly, you have a really nice scroll design, and you have a design stamp here that's just these little blotches. And that is a wonderful design element. You can see that as an example here in your catalog. And we have Easter blessings and Happy Mother's Day. And I love that cute little butterfly. That is so cute. Now, just the stamp set is nice, but where the magic really happens is the die set. And you can see that here. And I want to show you that a little bit more today. We are doing a super simple layout that comes together really quickly. If my math isn't failing me today, I believe that you can get 12 cards out of a 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper and still have a little bit left over. So I'm going to show examples that use these, but mainly we're going to be focusing on these dies today. I've taken my magnet cards and I've divided into two camps here. These ones cut out those large images, those two floral images, and then we have this butterfly shape that cuts out the stamped image, and this one is just a freestanding die on its own. Here are 4 of the components that I am using today to start for the base layer for our daffodils. This die cuts out this shape. This one cuts out the detailed image. These two just layer together to make that trumpet center for your daffodil. These are the main leaves, and they do give us 2 because it does take 2 of these to build a daffodil. And so that is really nice that we have 2 of those dies. This one is for a different, down here, this one is for a different shape of daffodil. And that's why we have this image. And then this one belongs to this. We build with this. It's over here. Then we have different components that also go along with it. This row shows all of our base pieces. And then these are our next layer. As I said before, this goes on top here to make that bell or that trumpet for your daffodil. This is the main leaf, and I always kind of have to spin to get these in the right place. And there is I didn't think there was, so you may see some of my examples where I hadn't figured this out yet. But one of these is a little bit skinnier than the other. And you just kind of need to twirl it around until it lines up like this and everything is where it's supposed to be. And there's not an extra piece that's hanging out. So there we have that layer. And I was going to do the crushed curry for all of these pieces, but I just love on the petals that really delicate, very vanilla look. And see there, it layers up. So I'm going to move these off to the side because we do need to build some daffodils. Okay, we have some of our pieces laid out here and we need to put them together. And it's not difficult, but it does take some time. And you'll see I just have my little fine tip glue bottle that I bought from Amazon and put my Tombow in it. I did break down and buy a fine tip glue pen. We're still trying to figure each other out. Let's just say that. I love the bottle. I love the tip of it. The glue itself is what I have a little bit of an issue with. It's very liquidy, so I am trying that out so you don't have to. And I will speed up the process of gluing these all together. We now have all of our little bits and pieces glued together. I wanted to show you a few things I forgot to tell you on these dies. These two are for the bud. This makes the base. This makes the little top of it. And then these two go together and form the little, I'm not sure what the technical word for it, that comes out of the center of the flower. But I don't love it, so I didn't use it. Some people have decided to use this as the center for their butterfly. Just throwing that out there. So we are going to just take two of these, and I'm going to put some glue in the center here. Silicone mat works really great for this. And I am just going to, I don't think there's any super particular way to put these together. I think it's all on preference, just how you like to glue those together. So I got industrious in my cutting and actually had cut out for 3 flowers, not just 2, so that's good. And so these 2 pieces, I do mine with this more flat part toward the bottom. That's, again, I think it's a preference thing. I don't think the daffodil police are going to come after you if you glue yours the other way, or that any of your recipients would second guess your decision. And then I just put mine together like this. And then we can come right in with the trumpet to our daffodil. So I have slid my trumpet or bell back here just so that there's just a little bit of that leaf coming out there and peeking out through. I think that just kind of gives it some dimension. And the same thing here. You just kind of arrange it how you want to. See, this is going to be one that's kind of more, not as open, I guess you would say. And if you feel you need to adjust this down, if your glue hasn't set, you can do that. I think mine is pretty well set, but I still think that that is good. Now, if I were not mailing these in the mail, I would have taken my bone folder and I would have used it to kind of make a little bow in the leaves so that it was more three-dimensional when you put it together. But when you're going to be sending these through the mail, this is just the better way to do it so they don't get torn up. So I am just going to put my glue here. Some people like this part showing, some people it doesn't matter. I don't really have a preference for it one way or the other. Ooh, sticky, sticky. Just going to kind of build our little bundle. And then I just cut a bunch of leaves. And you can arrange these leaves higher and lower as you want them. Now our flowers are all put together, and I am just going to move those off to the side and let them continue to dry. I have my very vanilla card base, and then I have a layer of Flirty Flamingo. And you will see, after you've watched me for a little while, that I use all different types of adhesives. I am mostly a glue girl, except I just have certain preferences. I like to use my tape runner on the layer that goes up against my card base if I can. That's just a weird thing. I also have a piece of Designer Series paper, and then I also have another strip of Flirty Flamingo. We are going to turn this piece over, and we are just going to, since mine is a non-directional, since mine's a stripe, it's directional, but there's no top or bottom. If you have a definite top or bottom, you want to put the adhesive on the top, just the top. And we are just going to kind of put these down. And you, depending on the sentiment that you plan on using, you can adjust this to where more or less of this Flirty Flamingo shows through. Now we are not going to adhere anything down, but I do have another very vanilla layer, and we're just going to kind of lay this right here to see about where this goes. Now, mine probably has a little bit of tack somewhere on the back from this tape runner, and I'm just going to kind of leave this be here for just a minute. I have one little bit of stamping that I need to do. And we are going to use the pool party. And this is also, we want to go ahead, and my pool party is kind of dry. I'm gonna just move over here to the side. I have a piece of scrap paper, and that looks like it's going to work out fine. I'm going to pull this back to where I can view it. And I am just going to stamp this. I am putting mine on the right-hand side of my card. Now see, that did not stamp straight, or I did not stamp straight. So you know what? We just turn it around. And that's why I have you go ahead and do this. You will have 4 tries out of this one piece of paper to make this work. Apparently, I needed to pull this down just a little bit more. There, that is much better. So I am going to put this away. And I'm going to just go ahead and loosen this back up. I don't even have a pair of my snips over here. But just so you don't get to this point and have it just be a smidge off is why I had you cut it a little bit longer. So we are going to turn this over and we are going to put our tape runner or glue, whatever you are using. And we are actually going to put this down. And we just want to line the bottoms up. And give it a little bit of a press. Super, super fun. Now, you could probably even put dimensionals on this if you wanted to, but I decided to keep mine flat since I am adding the daffodils on the top. Isn't that just super cheery? I love that. I am going to bring over my daffodils. And we have one little final step to kind of put together our bouquet, if it were. And we're going to have to glue it, and then we're probably going to have to cut it shorter. But I just kind of want to see. And I probably have too many leaves. I probably didn't need that many leaves, but I'm going to try to tuck a few behind. And see there, we can just adjust, and I love that. I think the way this works out, I'm going to have to loosen this leaf and just move it in behind, and that's okay with me. Okay, I found the layout that I wanted for the flowers on my card, and I went ahead and put those down. I used glue on some parts, and I used tape runner on another. Of course, that's sticking to my desk here. But now I'm just going to take my snips, and I love it that they are this thin. If you aren't sure, you're better to cut a little lower and then come back. So let's get rid of the sticky part. And then I am just going to snip away. Now we might need to go in and reinforce a few little loose places with some glue. We'll just see once we get these straightened up. And I just kind of put the back edge of my scissor along this Flirty Flamingo layer and do it like that. So like I said, the layout is very uncomplicated. It goes together really quickly. If you wanted to build them even faster, use one of those solid images. Just stamp it. If you want to do a little coloring on it, that's fine. Cut it out and that can go here. Now we have some iridescent dots. And I think they look pretty with just about everything. So let's put one here and grab a few smaller ones, actually. And isn't that super pretty? Those just came together so quickly. So every card needs an envelope. So let's pull in this Flirty Flamingo ink and let's use our single flower stamp and make sure our envelope is facing up and just put one of these right here in this lower corner. Super, super fun. Now I have some other examples to show you, and they were using that Daffodil Dream paper from Celebration. I know it's not available anymore, but I just wanted to go ahead and show what I've made with it. Just because if you've already earned that paper, then I want to show you ways to use it. So I just changed out, used the Flirty Flamingo instead of the Crushed Curry here. And I've already told you I'm not a lover of this dark side of the paper. So this was just enough that it didn't darken it too much for me. And then this was just one of the back sides. And then I had one additional card. Let me slide these up here. I just wanted to show this card because I used this single flower image and I used my blends to color this. And it's just a fun fold, and I used back sides of that Daffodil Dream paper. But I just wanted to show you a few things that you could do with that paper if you had already scored it. It's super beautiful paper, and I just love the Very Vanilla. This one is white, and these are Very Vanilla. I will tell you, I do like the Very Vanilla in this a whole lot better than the stark white. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.